Here we go. What is Classic Plus? We built this website to ask you exactly that. Our team, led by Geordie and Oli Black Smoke, wants to help us all better understand the community's vision for our ever-evolving World of Warcraft Classic Plus experience. So this is the survey, guys. They made a whole website called Classic Plus Project. I briefly had a look at this the other day. It is fantastic, guys. Seriously, they're putting so much work and effort into this. So this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going through this a little bit. I'm going to turn the music down ever so slightly just so I can hear myself think a bit. Oh, and I've lost my tab. Right, so first things first, let's take the survey. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's do this. Right, let's take the survey. Right, get started with the intro survey. We'll ask some basic demographic questions to better understand who you are, then dive into your thoughts about the fundamentals and philosophy of Classic Plus.
Nope.
Nice. Log into... Okay. We've got to log in with Discord, apparently. Right, let me do this out of here. Bear with me. Alright, right, that's sorted. We're done. Let's get back into the survey. Can I do it now? Here we go. Right, so first one. Section 1, demographics and server/game settings. Which faction do you usually play for? The Horde? Easy question. Which race would you consider your main? Feel free to pick multiple. I would say mostly Orc. We are playing a Blood Elf, but obviously I don't think they're going to have that in the game for Classic Plus, which is a bit of a shame, but I'd say Orc and Tauren are definitely my go-tos, I think. Which class do you consider your main? Feel free to pick. Right, it's definitely Shaman and Paladin. How old are we? Don't look. Don't look. Don't pause it when I put this VOD out as well. How often do you play WoW each week? A few hours a week. I'd say a few hours a week. Trying to figure out. Yeah, it was about 9 hours. 9 hours a week. Nice, healthy dosage, I think. I would like to play more, but there's only so many hours in the day you can actually do this. Right. What have we got? We've got this. Can I? Yep. Yep. Oh no, I never actually played Vanilla WoW. I only played the expansions beyond Vanilla. Okay, that was weird. That was really weird. Okay, that's just very weird. It's not going to keep doing that. Hope not. Yeah, I actually do play a tank. Right, just to read this out. So yeah, what is your experience with various iterations of Vanilla/Classic, World of Warcraft? Check all of that apply. So yeah, we never actually played Vanilla WoW. We started back in when it was the Burning Crusade. We've played private servers. Don't go telling Blizzard. Don't go telling Daddy Blizzard, okay? Yeah, we obviously played Classic Anniversary. We didn't play Seasonal Mastery, but we did play Seasonal Discovery for a long time. And yeah, that works for me. What region do you play from? We are in the EU. Which of the following labels describe you? Choose as many as you feel is accurate. Oh, I think this. It's done it again. It's done it again. Right, I'm gonna have to close. I need to figure out something out real quick. Might have to close that down for the time being. Apologies for that, guys. It's because I've got my I had my stream manager up for a kick, and for some reason the sound keeps playing on that when I don't want it to, because it obviously has a double effect. We don't want that. Yep. So I think I'd like to say I'm a casual raider. I haven't actually done much any raiding really, but it's something I would like to do. But I wouldn't say I was a hardcore raider. So yeah, definitely a completion. I like being a completionist. In the essence of it, I like to, you know, if I see a list, I do like to get it complete if I can, and definitely I love leveling. All right. How likely are you to play Classic Plus? Can't wait to log in. Literally cannot wait to log in. Would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, how much? No opinion on that really. I mean, I'm hoping they'll just roll it into the subscription that you already play. Really, I mean, if they have a separate, subscription for it, I'll just pay that. I'll just play Classic Plus. So yeah, I've got no opinion on it really, but also depends on what it's shown /pro. I'll go for that one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you feel about Classic Plus if they changed how the game looked via Unreal Engine-esque graphics, lighting? My GPU is crying, yes. Modern WoW characters. I'm going to go in the middle for that one. More towards this one, actually. 3, I think. I mean, modern WoW character animations, I'd be happy if they updated the WoW character animations so they're more modernized a little bit better and run smooth. That doesn't really bother me much, but I'd say about 6 or... I'm not going to say it. I'm going to go 6. Modern WoW spell effects, again, probably in the middle for that one. Modern WoW UI, player and target frames, action bars, nameplates, etc. I don't really have much experience with modern WoW, so I don't really have an opinion. So I'm going to go in the middle on that one. Obviously, I'm more of a Classic Andy anyway, so obviously play a lot of Classic WoW. But the stuff like nameplates and stuff like the action bars are fine, and target frames are absolutely fine. I don't mind those at all. Nameplates, I use Plater most often anyway. So yeah, we've got down the middle for that one. Abby, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Welcome on in. We're doing a little bit of Classic Plus project survey at the moment. Just kind of going through all of the questions. Welcome on in. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. Right, next question. How would you like Blizzard to handle the server rollout? Right, so we've got many servers at launch, some PvP, some PvE, a couple of RP, like Vanilla Classic launched with. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's have a look. A condensed server list like in SOD with consolidation. I'm not going to try and reword that. Happening over time. Consolidation. 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 There we go. We got there. Oh my god, I said the word. 1 mega PvP server with faction badge. No, absolutely not. Oh, actually, no. Hold on. 1 mega PvE server as well, maybe? And then you got only 1 mega server PvP that lets players opt in, opt out from PvP, e.g. safe zones in towns, war mode, etc. Oh, this is a really good question. I'm kind of leaning more towards an only 1 mega server. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards like 1 mega server, and then if you want to do PvP, you can just toggle it on. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that. But then how would they actually handle the load? That's the only thing. The only thing I'm worried... No, actually, I'll change my mind. We're going to go condensed server list, because the only thing I'm worried about is the server lag for a mega server. Just the 1 mega server would be pretty nuts, unless they figure out a way to actually streamline it, and actually so it's like more fluid, and it's not so much, ping for... when we're playing, because at the moment we're playing obviously the Burning Crusade, and right at the beginning where the servers are so full, you do sometimes get quite a bit of lag. It's it's just here and there really. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards condensed server list like SOD with consolidation happening over time. I think that works because then you can split up all of the different servers. But then it's a hard question. It's a really hard question. Sharon, how are you doing? I'm doing very, very well, thank you. Welcome on into the stream. Frimbrek, good to see you as well. Got to give you Spazzel, your thumbnails are really good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm not going to lie, I did have some help with that, but I'm not going to say what it was. How are you doing, guys? How are you doing? Welcome on into the stream. We're currently doing the Classic Plus project survey. We're just kind of going over the basic stuff in the beginning. I think there's quite a lot to go through here. And I'm waffling on quite a bit. Well, I'm going to go with this one. That's my final answer, I think. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers resetting every... No, don't reset servers. Fuck that. Excuse my language. No, do not do that. I would hate that. How would you feel about layers in Classic Plus? I think layers are fine sometimes. Yeah, I think layers are fine. Okay, we're going to move on. Layers, I think layers are fine. I think layers are fine. Sometimes they can screw you up a little bit. I think... yeah, layers are fine. Layers are fine. Cool. Right. Section 2, in-game systems. Should the size of raids be reduced from 40? I think so. I think 20. 20. 40 is too much. Trying to get 39 other people to commit to a schedule of raiding. I don't know how we used to do it. I don't know how people used to do it back in vanilla and, you know, in old WoW. Generally, do not know how people did it. I think it's impossible. I think what they did was reduce the size to 20, and then obviously what it says here, allow me to bring more than 20 if I want. Perfect. I think that's perfect. Don't think it should be 40. Should Dungeon Finder be implemented? Oh. No, we don't want that. I think this one, yes, but only to group you. It's still up to you to get to travel to the dungeon. Yeah, this one. I like this one. I do like Dungeon Finder. Because obviously it just makes the process... I know obviously you kind of do lose a little bit of the interactivity a little bit. But then it's kind of down to you really to interact with the other players. If they don't want to interact, they don't want to interact. They'll just say invite and they'll never talk to you again. You know, I think that the Dungeon Finder... where all it does is just group you with other people that want to do either, like, you know, like it is now, where it's literally all it will do, it will find you a group and you message them, come on, we need a healer, we need a DPS, we need a tank, come join us, we're going to do this dungeon. I think it's perfect. I think the way it is now is perfect. Should summoning stones outside of dungeon/raids be implemented? I'm going to get some flack for this. Yeah, I'm sorry, I know there's so many classic people, classic Andys, that hate summoning stones because it makes people lazy. I understand that, but also I'm lazy. I don't want to run to the dungeon. But you still have to run. You still have to have some people run to the dungeon. And I like being summoned. If I'm, you know, I'm doing something for the group, you know, I'm picking up the quests for them. Got 2 people running to the summoning stone to the dungeon. You've got someone who's like picking up all the quests for you at the same time, and then someone's like grabbing, you know, whatever, you know, emptying the bags and getting some like consumables for the group and whatnot. I think that is fine. I think that is absolutely fine. Obviously, I do understand the gripe that people have with it because it does make people lazy. So I do understand, but I like summoning stones. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get some flack for that. Don't care. Right? Should there be heroic dungeons? I'm kind of in the middle here, yes, or maybe depending on how they implement them. I'm kind of going towards this. I kind of like heroic dungeons. I really do. I really do actually like, you know, heroic dungeons. I love them in TBC. I love them in Wrath. It's the same dungeons that you've done before between 1 to 6, or 1 to 70 really, and 80 if you include Wrath of the Lich King. It's the same ones that you go through the leveling process, but it's a harder version of that, which gives you, you know, different bosses, more of a challenge. I like it. Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, no, I'm just not. Yeah, I think maybe depends on how they implement them is a good answer for me. And should there be rated PvE in Classic Plus? Mythic Plus, Mage Tower, Prestige levels, level 60 / raiding. I kind of like the idea of this. And maybe the raiding leaderboards. Not so much Mythic Plus. I don't want Mythic Plus. But I would do things like Mage Tower, Prestige levels, and the late, you know, level 60 / raiding leaderboards and etc. Things like that. I think that's cool. Mythic Plus, no. So it was a little bit hard to answer this one because they don't have one where it says, yeah, but no Mythic Plus sort of thing. I'm going to put, I won't do it, but I'm fine with the game having it. I think that's fine. Should there be rated PvP in Classic Plus, rated Battlegrounds? I think so. I know a lot of people... Oh, no, I picked the wrong one. I know a lot of people love doing this kind of stuff, so why not? You know, why... We should have something in there. If anything, it should be, yeah, they should be doing more for the PvP scene for World of Warcraft, really. It's kind of just goes dead in later iterations of WoW. Should AoE looty bid implemented? No. Pick up every single one, you scrubs. No, go to every single one of them, because I don't want a load of stuff going boop, into my bag. I know, I kind of I understand the appeal of having AoE looting, but for me, it's just a bit like, I loot everything, I don't know what the hell I've got. I have to like skim through text chat just to find out what it is. No, I want to see exactly what I'm picking up. What features of world buffs would you want to see in Classic Plus? Check all that apply. No world buffs ever? I don't think so. Chrono Boon, I think is pretty good. Alternative sources of world buffs, I think that's pretty good. More varied world buffs, I think. Maybe a bit weaker, maybe. Let me go through these one more time. Non-dispellable. Non-dispellable. I hate that. I hate that you can dispel them. Because some of them are absolute pain to get. Like, you have to go through so many different things to get them. I don't think they should be dispellable. But I think the Chrono Boon is pretty good. World buffs don't belong in raids. I don't really have an opinion on that. So I think those four are fine for me. I don't know about weaker world buffs. Maybe some weaker ones. Or, yeah, I think some more varied stuff would be quite cool as well. How would you feel if Classic Plus trimmed the capabilities of add-ons and weak auras? I'd be happy to see them go. No, I don't. I think this one. I think this one. I think quality of life stuff outside of combat is completely fine. So stuff like Questy, where it's not really helping. It helps you in a certain sense. It tells you where to kind of go, but it's not like, right, at level 5, go do this quest. At level 10, go kill these mobs for like 1 to 2 levels and grind them out until you get to this level, and then do this. And then at this level, go to this dungeon to try and level up and grind this dungeon out. I don't like that. For starters, I like Questy because it kind of just, it streamlines the process. I know it kind of takes away a little bit of the immersion, but I like Questy. Plater as well. Well, again, I'm on the fence with like stuff like Plater as well. If the UI was intuitive enough so I can see, and I can kind of customize it how I want within the game itself without an add-on, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. But I definitely think keep it out of combat, because I think that's where they went wrong. Because again, there's so many people that go on about this as well. The weak auras and add-ons for combat. A lot of people can't do the newest raids now without them. And obviously now the devs are making the fights even harder because obviously they kind of like tweaking it to know, right, okay, there's a weak aura add-on that they can add this to that. I'm not gonna check, but I think keep it out of combat, and I think that'd be fine. Should mount level requirements be lowered? No, I think keep mounts the same level. Or do I? I think actually, yeah. I think actually let people get their mounts earlier, but not too early. I think it should be either 30 or 35. I think people should get their mounts, not 40. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Should flyer mounts be implemented? No. Moving on. Should guild banks be implemented? I think so. I think that's, that brings more together, more community, because people can gather stuff together, put it into a guild bank. People can like, oh, do you mind if I have this in the guild bank? I think, yeah, guild banks, yeah, I'd be more happy with that. Should Classic Plus have achievements? I think so. Again, this is kind of like a, sprinkles on an ice cream sort of thing. You don't have to have it, but if you do have it and you enjoy it, perfect. You can have sprinkles. I think this is perfect. You know, yeah, I think we should have achievements. You don't have to do them. Don't have to do them. But it's also a really nice thing that people can go out, you know, and do challenges and, you know, to try and get achievements. You know, for example, exploring the whole entire map, for example. You know, explore a whole entire map, you get an achievement. You kill a boss, like in hardcore, the hardcore add-ons, you got achievements in that. Kill a boss before a certain level. You know, things like that I think would be fine. Do this dungeon as well, you know, without someone dying, you know, get this achievement. I think achievements are great. I don't know what people think about achievements, but I think they're great. Should reputations be streamlined / made easier to level? I've got no opinion on that, really. Not really. How do you feel about adding transmog to Classic Plus? Oh, okay. This is a good question. Because the way I feel about transmogs, I kind of like having transmogs. I don't like that you can buy the transmogs. I think if you want transmogs, you go out and earn the gear. So you go out to dungeons, you do quests. If you like a piece of armor that you've got for that quest or got from that dungeon, you could then potentially transmog that for role-playing purposes. That, I think, is fine. I don't like that. I'm sure they've got it in modern, and it was, I don't know when they brought it in, where you can literally buy any piece of armor that you wanted to. Like, oh yeah, I want that armor and that armor, and you could be like literally level 1 rocking around with like raid gear items, you know, and all you got to do is pay for it. I don't like that. That I don't like. But I do like the idea that you go out and you earn the gear. You actually go out and earn the gear by doing the dungeons, doing quests, and then you can transform them once you're finished with that piece of gear into a transmog, so you can then put it on, you know, your next piece of armor and stuff like that. That I think is perfect. So they don't have an answer for that, which is really annoying. So I'm gonna say transmog good, but only for the reasons that I'm saying. I don't like. So if they implement it like I've said, so you go out and actually earn that gear and actually collect that gear, then transmog good. If not, transmog bad. Okay. Should a separated collections inventory be implemented? Toys / mounts. I absolutely agree with this one. Absolutely agree with this one, because I am always struggling with bag space, especially as a shaman with my totems. I think so. I think toys / mounts, yeah, I think we should have a separate inventory for them, because we have one for keys. Why not? I think we should. But I think maybe just keep it as toys / mounts, though. I don't think we should go too far into, you know, with totems and stuff like that. Though I do think we should probably have a separate bag for totems. Just saying. As a shaman, mostly, yeah. Should Classic Plus allow JDKPs? I've got no opinion on that, really. Never really affected me. I know some people like them, some people don't. No problem with me. Should the level cap ever be increased from 60? Depends how long. Right, so we've got no never. Depends how long after launch we would have to see. I think that one. I think that one. It's kind of like on the fence a little bit. Next section. The world. Should Classic Plus have new zones? Yes, please. 100% should have brand new zones. And I hope they kind of take a lot of inspiration from Turtle WoW from this, because the way they implemented new zones in this was absolutely fantastic. You know, you got the Balor, which is from Warcraft 2. You know, it's just you know, old, you know, abandoned island with a castle on it, like the orcs ransacked. Balor. Then you got, what was the other place? Northwind Pass. I never actually got round to going to that place, but I saw the trailer for it. It looked fantastic. It looked beautiful, like a very autumn-esque, you know, kind of like Eversong Woods vibe, but you know, but in like, if like Eversong Woods was in autumn, but it was also Elwyn Forest sort of thing, that kind of vibe, like an autumn Elwyn Forest. It was fantastic. And then you had like, what was the other place I saw? You got the Grim Reaches as well, which was another one. Yeah, 100% new zones. We need as many new zones as possible and take as much inspiration from Turtle WoW and the original WoW trilogy as well. The the Warcraft trilogy, maps from there as well. Okay, if yes, where in Azeroth or beyond would be okay with you for these zones to be? Right, so we've got only on the main 2 continents, anywhere on Azeroth, and any other planet / dimension is fine. I don't know if I agree with that one. I really don't know if I agree with that one. I'm going to say anywhere in Azeroth. Let's keep it on Azeroth. As much as I love the Outlands, if they went into the Outlands, I would not be against that. And Draenor, I would not be against that. But past that, I'm doing my best Donald Trump impression here. No, we don't want this. No. Azeroth is great. Other continents. Should new content be added for leveling? Yes, of course, 100%. Again, take inspiration from Turtle WoW, because what they did was absolutely fantastic. They did new dungeons. They did dungeon extensions as well, which I thought were fantastic. Absolutely needs quests, low level dungeon zones, dungeons. Yes, everything. I want more stuff. I want more stuff to do. I want to keep the spirit of classic, but I want new stuff to do. I want new stuff to find. I want it to be a fresh new adventure. Should leveling be sped up? Oh. No, keep it the same. Keep it the same. Make people grind for it. Earn it. Learn their classes. Should there be more class-specific quests? Yes. Yes. 100%. I hate the fact, because as shaman, the only class quests we ever got was to unlock totems. We never got like stuff like warrior got, and paladin for that matter as well. But paladin, I can't remember what it was, but you got Veritas's hand of fist. It was the great big 2-handed axe that you can get. We go like on a long quest chain. Then you go to warrior. You get the brutal harbuk, weapons, stuff like that. I hated it that you never got that for shaman. All you got with shaman was totems. That was it. That was it. And the whole thing for shamans was you should be using totems anyway. So I hated that they didn't have more class-specific quests across the board. I think they should have it across the board. But yeah, 100% unlock ability/spells like the warlocks and demons and priest race. Yeah, 100%. I would even add into that mix some some class-specific items, especially like for, again, perfect example, warriors get whirlwind axe. More, just something you get at level 30 that's specific to your class and will last you for about 5 or 10 levels. I think that'd be fine. Oh my god, I am waffling on today. Woo! Okay, 1 second. Should there be more epic quest lines like Rock Dalar, Scepter of the Shifting Sands, etc.? I think so. I think there should be more epic quest lines. Yeah, 100%. Add more quests in, but also make any epic quest line that you add to the game, make sure it's rewarding for the player. Because I know there's been quite a lot of people have done epic quest lines where it's like a 5 quest or 6 quest chain, and they've gone through every single quest and they're going through the story. They get to the very last quest and it's a blue item that they can't even use. What was the point? What was the point? I think absolutely, yeah, more epic quest lines, but make the rewards benefit the player. Give it like an overarching kind of like selection that is rewarding for the player. Don't make the items obviously like too overpowered or anything like that, but give it a decent reward based on the quest that you're doing, or for what the level you are and stuff. Because obviously you're putting in so much time and effort doing this quest line, you want to be rewarded for it. You don't want to just sell the thing. You want the reward. Right, which of the following best describes how you'd like to see changes in Classic Plus to old raids? Don't really have an opinion on this, but we'll go through this anyway, because I never really did much raiding. Prefer the old raids exactly as they were, easy. Don't think I like that. I think in Classic Plus, they should have the old raids that they had. I think they should tweak them. And a perfect example of this, so this is going back to Bronzebeard. This was a fantastic idea that came from Bronzebeard. So I think they should do this throughout the entirety of dungeons and raids. In Bronzebeard, they changed a couple of the mechanics for the bosses. Not too crazy, but they changed a few mechanics to make the fight a little bit more exciting and interesting. Perfect example, the last boss, the Taramagan the Hungerer. In Bronzebeard, he had a couple of more mechanics. He had a widespread AoE. Obviously, it has the widespread AoE, but what he would do is it would like have this all these like kind of like flaming pillars come out of the ground, and obviously then you've got to kind of get out of the way of them because they'll knock you in the air and you take a lot of fall damage. But then afterwards, he'll then do a massive AoE attack, to which then you could then line of sight it with the pillars. It's a very simple additional mechanic and a little tweak to the mechanic that was already there, which made that fight loads more interesting and more fresh. So take that, Blizzard, please do that. Please, I beg you, please do that. Don't change, don't change too much, but tweak it and add a little bit of spice to it, just so it kind of makes things exciting again, because we've all done all of the dungeons, we've done all of the raids, everyone's done it. It's old news. Make it a little bit more fresh and exciting. Right, that's my rant over for now. Right, tune them up as needed for any change in player power, but keep the spirit of the original raid. Add more complex. This is the one. This is the one. Add more complex / difficult mechanics similar to Season Mastery / Season Discovery for a fresh challenge. Now, I don't like the wording of that, but it's on the spirit of what I was literally just talking about. I think they should add, slightly, I wouldn't even say complex, just tweaked mechanics, just to make things more fresh. And then we've got, should there be no rage? Yes. But only stuff that already exists in the original Azeroth, Karazhan and Grim Batal. I kind of like that. I think this one. Yes, proposed raids that already exist in the world, plus create some new interesting content like Scarlet Enclave, like they did in Season in Discovery. Perfect. I think that's... Yes. Boom. Alright. Section 4, the player. Should Classic Plus have new playable races, and if so, which of the following categories would be acceptable? Check all that apply. No, we're not doing this one. Any races from future WoW expansions. New playable races that already exist in Azeroth. I think this one. I think this one's fine. Again, going back to Turtle WoW. In Turtle WoW, you could play as a High Elf on the Alliance side, and you can also play as a Goblin on the Horde. Perfectly makes sense. It makes sense. Class, if you're going to do new playable races, make it make sense within the world of Azeroth. That's my take on it. I think, yes, playable races that already exist in Azeroth. 100%. But no pandas. No. Or furries. No. Should Classic Plus have new classes? This is a really good question, actually. So we've got no, yes, but only classes added in other WoW expansions. Death Knight, Monk, Demon Hunter, Invoker. Yeah. I think so. I think, yeah, yes, the ones we've seen, but also completely new classes never seen in WoW before. Yeah, I think we should. But to caveat this, what I think we should also do is not have them on release. I think this should be drip fed in. So, you know, Classic Plus launches. You then have maybe 3, maybe 6 months, and then you drop a new race, new class. Sorry, drop a new class where it's, you know, Necromancer. You know, a Necromancer class, which would be that'd be sick. And then you just kind of like you keep adding new stuff, you know, but you don't overcook it, but you kind of like you keep adding a few new ones every, I don't know, 6 months or something. where it keeps the game fresh. You know, the new player, you know, in players then kind of go back as like, oh my god, they've just released this new class. Let's go back, start that, you know, start making, you know, leveling that character, that you know, class up, and it just gives people fresh content to do. Obviously, you're still going back through the, you know, the leveling content, but then also what you would do in tandem with that is you would then constantly be adding, again, dungeon extensions, new quests, new zones. So then when they come to the new class and they want to play the new class after 6 months, you know, when it's released in 6 months or longer than that, there's then new quests to do, there's new dungeons to do, there's new extensions in the dungeons to do, there's a new zone to go to. Because once you get to 60, you're not going to go back to that zone, that leveling zone. Why would you go back there? You don't need to. I mean, you could do it if you wanted to, but you're not really going to get the benefits of it because you're not leveling in that zone. You're already max level. So, yeah, I think this is perfect. I think this is perfect. Again, guys, please, you know, if you're watching this right now, guys in chat right now, or if you're watching this later, because I will be making a YouTube video out of this as well, please comment on what I'm saying, and we can obviously have a really nice discussion about things. Obviously, I will chat to you guys. You know, I do in chat. Again, but in the YouTube video, when it comes out at some point when I make it, comment down below, because I will reply to you, and I will talk to you guys. I will talk to you guys about this stuff. You know, I'm happy to have a really open discussion about stuff. Right, should new race / class combos be added? No, the original combinations are iconic, don't touch them. Yes, but only stuff within the lore that makes sense and keeps factions / races feeling unique. 100%. 100%. That was one of the things that really drew me to World of Warcraft in the beginning, in the Burning Crusade, is that you had that separation. Actually, no, I'm lying. No, I'm lying. But I like the idea of this, actually. No, I like the idea. I'm gonna completely erase what I just said then, but I like the idea of having stuff that makes sense, and also keeping factions and races unique as well. That's my take on it. I like that kind of stuff. That being said, in Burning Crusade, the Blood Elf Paladins made sense, and the Draenei Shamans and Paladins made sense. So it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit. It's, you know, it kind of all goes in, it did make sense. Should the Horde have Paladins and the Alliance have Shamans? I'm stuck on this one. I'm stuck on this one, guys. I think I know people don't like it. I kind of like it. But then it also goes back to then the faction / races feeling unique. Let's leave it as vanilla. I'm going to go for vanilla. Even though I am playing a Blood Elf Paladin, keep it vanilla. It's fine. Right. Should classes be reworked? New base ability in spells, class, role, combinations, etc. So we've got no. Vanilla classes have distinct class fantasies that make each playthrough unique. Some quality of life adds, totemic, recall, projection, warlock, summoning gate, combo point persistence would be nice. But don't fix what ain't broke. And then you've got some new spells that modernize ability rotations, e.g. Rep Paladin, just don't completely change them. I think this one resonates more with me. And again, perfect example, Turtle WoW. In Turtle WoW, they tweaked it, especially Shaman and Paladin, and they made it so much fun to play. But they didn't go overboard and completely break the class and made it really OP. But they added skills and abilities to those two classes in particular that made sense and made them more fun to play and more viable as well. So I am going to go for this selection, but I'm kind of in between this one and the one before. So I don't want to completely modernize. But again, it's just some spells, some new spells that modernize. Yeah, no, this one's fine. No, do you know what? This one's fine. It's only some new spells. But I think they should, like, in between. I'm kind of more in between those two bits. Of the following, what is the most important change needed to raid buffs in Classic Plus? You may want to pick multiple, but only pick your biggest concern. This question refers to 1 hour long buffs, not Paladin Blessings. We'll ask about raid buffs more later. Oh, right, okay. Okay, so we've got raid buffs should cost less mana. Raid buffs should no longer require regents. Raid buffs should be single cast, raid wide. I kind of like that. But I think you should still have the regent to cast it. Raid buffs should be combined so multiple classes can buff different things, like in Wrath of the Lich King. I think these two. Yeah, these two I think are fine. Because, and there's no reason to go against this either, why it should cost less mana. Because if it costs more mana, you're just wasting time. You're just waiting for that person who casted all those buffs to then regen their mana for everyone else. And you're just wasting time. If it costs less mana, you're wasting less time. And then if it's if it's a single cast, obviously, oh, that kind of conflicts a little bit actually. So in my mind, the raid buffs should be a single cast raid wide, but cost more mana. But I think the raid buffs should also cost less mana because you don't want to be waiting around for that. Then that priest, paladin, whoever that cast that buff on the raid to get their mana back up. Why would you want to wait more? You want to get into the fight. So I think these two do conflict each other a little bit, but also I think that makes sense to me in a way. Should talent specializations be reworked? Yes, but only a light touch. I don't want them going completely mad. Just slight tweaks like they did with Turtle WoW, where, perfect example, Shaman on Turtle WoW, they reworked Shield Lightning talent class. So when you put 3 points into it, so in the original, just for a comparison as well, for Vanilla versus Turtle, in the original, in Vanilla, if you put 3 points into that talent point, all you do is a little bit more damage. I think it goes up to 15% extra damage when it goes off. In Turtle WoW, it didn't increase the damage, but it increased the number of shield that you actually got. So when you first put one in, it goes to, I think it's to 5, then it's to 7, and then up to 9. But then what they also did in the enhancement is if you put 3 points into that, it then linked down to a new ability that you got called Lightning Strike, which then when you use it, it instantly hits with your weapon, does 20% nature damage. No, it does 20% extra, I think. But it basically did nature damage at 20%, but then it did an empowered version of whatever shield you have active. So it was a lightning shield. Say it did 50 damage if the enemy hit you. It would then do 100 damage or something like that to the enemy. And you literally go bang. It's an instant cast, and it's like I think it's like a 6-second cooldown. It's very similar to no, what's the call? Oh god, Storm Strike. So yeah, I think somewhat with light touch. Should a 4th new talent specialization be added for classes like Guardian Druid, Tank Shaman? Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, so we've got no new talent specs. Yes, but limit it to hybrid classes with roles that didn't get fleshed out in vanilla. I like this. I kind of like this. Because, ooh, or should they? I do like that idea. Ooh. But the only concern I have about that is that then more people will want to play the hybrid classes rather than all the other classes, maybe. Do you know, I'm locking it in. I'm going for that. Because I love the idea of a tank shaman. Again, I did that in Turtle WoW. They have that in Turtle WoW, but they had that in the enhancement tree. So you can either build yourself enhancement as a DPS, or you can go down the same tree as a tank. But I would like to see a specific, maybe 4th talent specialization that you could unlock through a quest. That would be interesting. I think that would be really interesting, maybe. Maybe like level 20 or 30, you unlock this 4th specialization that you can then go into. something to kind of stew on. If you're watching this, stew on that for a little bit and then let me know. Should every specialization be competitive in both PvE and PvP? Yes, every spec should be viable in all scenarios. Not in most cases, but vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE outside of healing. Those classes could use a bit of love. I'm leaning towards this, but let's read the other one. No, not every spec needs to be perfectly raid/PvP viable. Overtuning for PvE imbalance could break PvP but yeah. Okay, no, I think this one. And again, perfect 2 examples. You've got Rep Paladin, who I believe is good in PvP, but sucks in PvE. And I think if you're playing a Paladin, you're mostly playing a healer, if I'm not mistaken. It's either you're a healer or a damage dealer, but the damage dealer's not as viable as all the other ones like Warrior, for example. And then obviously the big one there is Paladin tank. Nobody's taken the Paladin tank into a raid or dungeons, mostly raids, because you can't taunt. So yeah, I think not in most cases, but yeah, I think this one. Those classes could use a little bit of love. Just tweak them so they're not like, oh my god, this is the best class ever to play in both. But I think give them a little bit of love to make them more viable and competitive with other classes as well. Should dual specialization be implemented? I think so. Absolutely. No, yeah, let's move on. Yeah. Should new professions be added? Yeah, I think new professions sound awesome. Generally. But again, I don't want them to go overboard. I don't want to go into the glyph system and just make new professions that make sense. And again, I keep referencing Turtle WoW. It made perfectly sense. You had a jewel crafting. And I also believe they had woodworking as well, which is pretty cool. Should professions be updated to have more end-game relevance? Sorry, not relevance. Relevance. E.g. new recipes. Yes, I think so. All right. There we go, guys. That's our survey done. Let's have a look at our end of survey stuff. Oh my god, that was just the intro. Oh my god. That was just the intro. I thought that was the whole thing. Okay.